Hi, I'm Chris, and I have an MA in anthropology, and I'm trying to be a professional angry person on the internet. Today's topic is going to be about decolonizing. And of course, as a Filipino, my specific examples will primarily come from the Philippines because I'm living here in the Philippines right now. And I'm going to be trying something a little different. Instead of reading from a script, I'm going to be a little more extemporaneous. And so, who is this particular video for? It's for anyone who's curious, anyone from the global south who is curious about decolonizing and decolonialism. And folks, for example, indigenous folks might also be interested in this. Folks in the diaspora, whether you're Indian American or Filipino Emirati, you might be interested in this because of just the attempt to kind of reconnect with your roots. And so to start, I think the question of colonialism, of decolonizing, has to start with the question of colonialism. And this time, despite the fact that I said that I would just go off the cuff, I am going to read the Wikipedia definition of colonialism, which is, and I quote, colonialism is the advancement of control over and exploitation of land and people by separation through another and often foreign group. Colonizers monopolize political power and hold conquered societies and their people to be inferior to their conquerors in legal, administrative, social, cultural, or biological terms. So, what does that mean? Because frankly, that was a rather messily written sentence, and that's some shade on Wikipedia's writers, even though they do it for free. So like really big thank yous. But that was once again a bit messily written. So colonialism is control over and exploitation of land and people. There are two types of colonialism: settler colonialism, where the people in the particular land that's being colonized are displaced and or exterminated, like what happened in the US, what's happening right now in Palestine, and what happened in Canada and in Australia and New Zealand. And then there's extractive colonialism, which happened here in the Philippines, in much of Africa, and a lot of other places here in Asia, especially South Asia, where resources were extracted from local communities, local territories, and used for the profit of people in the colonizing country. And yes, colonizers do monopolize power and tend to kind of keep that power by holding to a sense of superiority over the people who had been colonized. So when Wikipedia says colonizers monopolize political power and hold conquered societies and their people to be inferior to their conquerors, it's pretty much what happened. In fact, if we ask about colonial mentality, which is a common term being thrown around here in the Philippines and is generally used to refer to the fact that folks can sometimes feel like anything that's American or anything that's European is automatically superior to anything that's local. It is a mechanism of that assertion of superiority over local selves, local senses of self. And well, there was a period of decolonization during the 1940s to 1960s when much of Asia, a lot of Africa, and in some places in Oceania, which, like Samoa, for example, is still an American colony. Well, not colony, territory or acquisition. I forget the precise term. Please, any Samoans, correct me. But In the 1940s to 1960s, there was a period of decolonization where Europe and the Americas withdrew their political control over countries throughout the global south. So, for instance, in the Philippines in 1946, the Americans left and the Republic of the Philippines became a full-fledged republic instead of being an American Commonwealth. In There was India, of course, and the horrible thing that happened with the partition. There was much of Africa, and yeah, pretty much all of Africa actually was decolonized at that time. Although that's that's a complicated conversation in itself, and I don't think I have the time to get into it. But let's just say that we have technically, politically decolonized. And the Philippines, for example, celebrates Independence Day on June the 12th, which is independence from the Spanish, because we were colonized by the Spanish for 300 years. But we were fully a republic in 1946 when the Americans gave us our sovereignty after victory in World War II. And that's June 4th, 1946. It's called the Philippine-American Friendship Day. And officially, yes, the Philippines has decolonized. Officially, yes, a lot of places in the world have decolonized. But unofficially, a lot of places throughout the global south are still pretty much controlled by countries in the global north. Examples of that would include, in fact, the Philippines, because there are still several US military bases here right now. There's some geopolitical bullshit going on right now that may or may not necessitate that, depending on where you stand with regards to who the powers that be should be in the world stage. And frankly, for me, it's all just like, get the fuck out of our way, China, get the fuck out of our way, America, let us be ourselves. And in a way, that is the call for a lot of decolonizing. Get away. Go away and let us be. Let us be free. Let us be free. That is the call. But, well, that's just not what's happening. Because there are bigger players in the field than just us. So what can we do as individuals, as small friend groups or small communities that technically have no power in the global stage? Well, decolonizing, in a manner of speaking, can be about shaking off the shackles of colonial mentality, that sense of, oh, I'm invisible, I'm invalid, I don't really make sense because, oh, I just have like local features, or I just went to school in the local school here and it was so sad and invalid and inadequate. But if I went to school in Harvard, or if I went to school in the UK, I'd be so very legit, you know? It means shaking off that sense that we are invalid. And it means looking backwards towards our past. The past that was stolen from us by the colonizers. And taking ownership of who we currently are because of the colonial experience. And being proud of who we are. Not in an, oh, I'm better than you kind of way, but like in a way where you can just stand tall and say, yes, this is who I am. And the future I believe in, the future where many worlds can come together and not be consumed by the colonial capitalist monster that is colonialism. That future is within my grasp because I can make it happen. because I stand in my power and I am strong and I am not going to be controlled by all of the psychobabble of, oh, you have to buy this, oh, you have to be like this, oh, you have to be, you have to go to Oxford before you can you can be a good student, and you have to have a PhD from, I don't know, Wageningen University in the Netherlands. Because in the end, regardless of where we are, regardless of who we are, whether you're someone from the diaspora or you're someone sitting at home in the global south, we are people of the earth. We need to respect the ecosystems that we came from, because that is one of the things that colonialism stole from us. Our connection to the earth, our connection to our homes. And it made us think that we need to go somewhere else in order to be better. And that's just not it. That's bullshit. So for folks who want to shake off the shackles of coloniality, it begins by questioning and educating ourselves about the process of colonialism and how it's affected us. You can look up people like Homike Baba. You can look up Gayatri Spivak. You can look up Frantz Fanon. I mean, okay, fine. Granted, these folks, they're a little difficult to read. The language is a little dense. But there's also folks like James Baldwin, Angela Davis. A lot of folks in the African diaspora have a lot of wonderful things to say about decolonizing. And it's so important that we be able to shake off that sense that we are inferior. And it's really hard. But we have to respect our own sovereignty. Because when we respect our own sovereignty, we respect our homes, we respect where we are, we respect who we are, and we start to respect others in a way that allows us to be together in community. And they can't take that away from us. They can't make us feel isolated and lonely and inferior if we're together and strong with one another. All right, I hope that made sense. So if folks want to send me a message telling me I'm completely wrong and not making any sense, please feel free to do so. And if you want to support my endeavors to be a professional angry person, you can go to christinamsaison.com/support. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. Bye.